This is where you're looking for your codoms. You know, you're competing apical. What is up, my people, my homies, my gang members? What's going on? So yeah, it's time to, sorry for the delay in the installment of videos. We're gonna get to chapter 8 on the Arborist Study Guide. This is the 3rd edition. I think they're on the 4th now, but the information's got to be close to the same. Update, yeah, I passed my test. I passed it months ago, actually. Sorry for the delay in these videos, but yeah, just kind of got busy. But yeah, the goal is to still finish this series or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's start. Hopefully hopefully I'll make more than one every 3 or 4 months or whatever it's been. So cool. Yeah, so chapter 8, pruning. Even though I did pass my test, I still only have a very small nugget of knowledge when it comes to all this. I'm learning every day, and I think everybody is. But yeah, so if I say something that's wrong, drop it in the comments, or if you want to add something to this conversation, yeah, just throw it in the comments. It'll be cool. Appreciated. Cool. So yeah, chapter 8. It's important for an arborist to understand proper pruning techniques because pruning plays a critical role in the health, safety, and aesthetics of the tree. It is important to understand that since pruning removes leaves and reduces the overall photosynthetic capacity of a tree, it also can reduce its overall growth. And if you decide to do a large prune cut, we shouldn't be pruning more than 30% of the tree. This could ultimately throw the tree in shock, and it won't be able to provide enough nutrients to continue to live. We could kill a tree if we go over 30%. That's a good rule of thumb. So that's species like dependent, but if you're new, stick to it. And yeah, I don't consider myself new, but I still find myself sticking to that rule or guideline just to kind of cover my own butt. You make sure, you know, I'm not doing any serious harm to a customer's tree. So there are some universal reasons to prune a tree, and these are a list of just a couple. The limb is dead or diseased. The limb is a hazard to property or, you know, people. You know, say you have a hanger over a frequently traveled walkway, or a dead limb over your house. You need to prune that out of the tree. Another reason is for limbs that are intersecting or crossing and rubbing, as well as growing downward. You want to prune those off the tree for multiple reasons. The rubbing, it just damages itself and can become a hazard in the future. If it's pointed downwards, it creates a weird fulcrum point for that limb and makes their potential, increases the potential of it breaking and falling dramatically. You can do your weight reduction prunes off a limb to just kind of sturdy it up. If you have those huge outward growing limbs, you want to take the tips back and just bring that center of gravity closer to the trunk, and that'll strengthen it big time. What else? It's obstructing road signs or views. You know, there's clearance pruning. I think they used to call it vista pruning. From what I understand, people don't like that term anymore. I don't know. But yeah, vista pruning. And then you can prune to produce more flowering or fruits for your ornamental trees and your fruit trees. So when pruning, there's an assortment of different tools and different types of cuts you can do, but the most common is the 3-cut method. And that is where you place a cut on the severing the compression wood on the top of on the bottom side of the limb. Then you place another cut. Traditionally, this is dependent on the size of the limb, but you want it a little further out from that first cut on top, severing the tension wood. And this will cause the limb to fall. And then your third cut's going to be right on that branch collar to clean it up. You need to, like, the tree produces a chemical that will stop decay, and we don't want to cut into the branch collar because that'll take longer for the tree to heal, and more decay will be able to infiltrate the tree. So I'll show an example of a prune cut right now. So this is one actually in my front yard that I did. It was a huge, there are a bunch of spruce trees, 4 spruce trees over here that I cut out, and there's a large limb going over from this locust tree, and I didn't realize one of the spruce trees were holding it up. So when I cut that, they were dead, ugly as could be, they had to go. When I cut the spruce tree down, like 10 minutes later, I start hearing this popping and cracking, and this massive limb just fell down. So made more work, but here I did my best. This was a huge limb, and looking at it, I probably could have brought it back a little more, but that's okay. You can see it starting to, like, kind of, the wood's kind of like rolling over itself, so it's really compartmentalizing that decay and that dead wood from that prune cut. So it's an okay cut. That's not the best example. I did that years ago, but yeah, probably 6 years ago now. So cool. I'm just looking around my house now, and I found this. This isn't one I did, but yeah, that's an example of just cutting off your branch collar, and it's just, it takes a lot longer for the tree to recover. There's some over here as well. I'll show you. This had to have been done by the road. I didn't do these, which makes me think they're much older than 6 years. So yeah, that just shows that, like, an improper cut, and when you cut that collar off, it takes so much longer for the tree to recover. So this might be something that, like, a customer might ask. And I remember we've actually gotten a call about this. A customer cut, they pruned a birch tree, and sap just dripped from that wound. This was on my test too. Dripped from that wound for like a month straight, and that's totally normal. Some species will, quote unquote, bleed more than others, but it's nothing to be concerned about. You know, you don't have to go paint it with the latex paint or anything like that. It's just a tree doing what the tree's doing. So yeah, this whole conversation on pruning, like, I hope you can see why it's important for us to have a like, basic understanding of tree biology. At least it gives us the knowledge to know where that branch collar is, and where the protection zone of the tree is, where that chemical reaction happens and stops the decay of a limb, and to recognize abnormalities within the trees, like codominant stems, which are probably the biggest threat of failure, or the most common threat of failure that you'll see in trees. And when you're considering, like, a plan, you can remove codominant stems. You just got to use, like, a heading cut, you know, or even like, even in your pruning strategy, you can prevent codominant stems from happening. If you see them early enough, you can just, you know, you can either prune in such a way that makes one stem grow faster than the other, or just using a heading cut, take the competing stem out completely. So there are different pruning methods you can use. The most common one is crown cleaning, and this is the selective removal of diseased, broken, or weakly attached branches from a tree and crown. This is just general tree maintenance, you know, and what you should be doing most of the time. especially on mature trees. This is where your mature trees should be, and this is what you should be doing. Yeah, also, so cool. There's also crown thinning. This is typically done when you're like during your pruning plan of a younger tree. This includes cleaning as well, and the selective removal of branches to increase the light penetration, air movement, and improve structure. So you're looking for this is where you're looking for your codoms. You know, you're competing apical, your codoms. So what this does, what crown thinning does is it stimulates the interior foliage, reduces the wind sail effect of a tree, allowing the wind to blow through it more, and increases the overall structure. You're building a good foundation and structure for the tree. You can over prune though. This can be done easily when you're thinning a tree, and this can stimulate an excess of water sprouts and interior vigorous water sprouts. But the big thing is it can also, if you remove an excess of inner laterals and foliage, this can cause lion's tailing, which displaces the weight towards the end of the stem, causing the center of gravity to move out further away from the trunk, and this will likely cause a failure in the stem as it continues to grow, or not stem, but cause a failure in the limb. This also reduces the taper of the limb as well as it grows, and it can also cause sun scald. So there's also crown reduction. This is used to reduce the size of the tree. Do this by my daughter's coming out. Do this by cutting limbs back to a point of origin or to a lateral capable of sustaining that limb. There's also crown rising or crown raising. Whatever, I can't read. This is the removal of lower limbs, typically done like the homeowner. I can't talk either. The homeowner will want this done to like mow around a tree or something like that, that's when I see it done most. Or like you can raise a canopy to get a better view of a lake or something like that. And then there's crown restoration, which sounds a whole lot like crown cleaning. You're just going through getting deadwood stubs and water sprouts. And yeah, so I'm gonna end this chapter here. There's more that you probably should know. There's like times to prune. If you're not aware, you want to prune oaks. This is mainly because of a disease, but you want to prune oaks in the fall, or winter, to avoid oak wilt, which is pretty bad in my area right now, actually. You can produce like more fruits and flowers if you prune. I'd have to double check, or you're gonna have to double check, but I think you can produce more flowering by pruning as soon as the flowers fall, I think. Or you want to prune in the fall, that way when, yeah, I think you want to prune in the fall to produce more flowering in the spring. But yeah, that's you're gonna have to look that up on your own. Cool. Yeah, thanks if you're still here. Leave a like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.